This is the first Veterans Advisory Board Committee meeting for the year 2019. I'll turn it over to John Kinlan, the chairman.
All rise, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Who does the roll call?
Janet.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Mr. Kinlan.
Here.
Mr. Haskins.
Here.
Ms. Kinlan.
Here.
Mr. Baumgart.
Here.
Ms. Paskowitz.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, next would be approval of the minutes from the last meeting. We did not have a meeting in December, so
Right.
these would be the October 1st minutes.
Okay.
We need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Second it.
All right. Seeing and hearing, any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approved. Okay. Do we have old business to come before us that you know, Randy?
And what I wanted to do, especially right now, is it's the ongoing, most of the services we do are ongoing, but one of the things with the homeless veterans and Gary's relationship that I'd ask him to come here and just speak. So it's not only updating us, it's updating the community who would be watching this or seeing it later in the month. So Gary, if you could say a few words, I'd appreciate it.
Gary?
You are recognized. Ariel Speaker, United States Marine Corps, retired First Sergeant.
Hoorah.
As you know, if you don't know, I handle the homeless. Approximately during the summertime, there's about 120. If you went out to the woods today, you'd probably find 2. They all have left because it's too cold. So, but they'll be back. So where do they go? They go to Fort Lauderdale. They go to Miami, where it's warmer. My association with them is very good. I would not advise anyone to go out into the woods because they do not know you, and they become frightened, and I don't want them to hurt you. Let me go. During Thanksgiving, we provided 25 meals for them, turkey dinner, hot, went out, fed them, very happy. Before we ate, we said a prayer, which is biblical. It's also biblical that we feed these folks, and that's found in Matthew 25. I have the ability to take some of the veterans because all the homeless are not veterans. I have a place to put them. It's called the Melbourne Transitional Facility, where they are entitled to stay up there for 6 months with rules that they must abide to. They are, you have to be in by 8 o'clock from Monday through Thursday. From Friday to Sunday, you have to be in by 9 o'clock. You cannot bring any alcoholic beverages, anything to hurt yourself, and this is where they stay. We tell them that for the first 3 days, don't do anything. We want to get you out of the woods and into a climate where you are in a bed to sleep in. It doesn't matter, female, male. Then the VA is notified. Somebody comes down from the VA and says, you're entitled to A, B, C, D, whatever. And they give you tickets to get on a bus to go up to Vieira, get your business taken care of, come back to the transitional facility. We also have a group called Career Source. They come in and they say to you, what kind of job did you do? I was a plumber. They get you a job in the plumbing industry. You have 6 months to get acclimated, to get back on your feet, and this is my philosophy. This is biblical as well. If you don't work, you don't eat. That's why when I talk to them in groups of 25 to 30, I tell them you have to get up and get moving. I'm not going to keep coming out here and give you food, give you food, give you food without you moving. They have found jobs. They have found other places to go. We also do a thing called a stand down, where the Marine Corps, God bless those guys, have given me 5 vans to take these veterans down to Fort Pierce to get acclimated back to life. Down there, we give them a shower, we give them a haircut. We try to get those clothes off them, give them new clothes. We'll have 5 to 6 tables of nothing but clothing. Please take 5 pairs of trousers. Take 5 pairs of socks. Take 2 pairs of shoes, hats, whatever you need. But they get nervous after about 2 hours. They want to go back to their life into the woods. The big word here is if. They have to want to do this themselves, or they'll continue to stay in the woods. They're scared because I don't know what they've been through. Some are Vietnam veterans, some are not. And they have a right to be scared, because when we came back from Vietnam, we weren't treated well. It doesn't matter what service you're in, you weren't treated well.
He's got to do it,
Okay? So, as far as having any kind of paperwork on these gentlemen and ladies, you'll never find it, because they have no place to put it. Some of them get money, which gets deposited into the bank. They make it to the bank, and they take care of their bills, should they have any. I had a young lady who was an Army veteran, a medic, who was pregnant. I brought her back in. Thank God to the Marine Corps League. They gave her a shower. The American Legion gave her a shower. She has since had the child back in November. She's up in the Melbourne Transitional Facility, living life the way she should. She has about 3 more months to go, excuse me, and hopefully the husband will come back and their life will start all over. I think it's a great program. I get filled up, and I'm not supposed to cry.
Excuse me, Gary, but is that through the Marine Corps League, that program there you just mentioned?
No, this is through the VA.
Okay.
It's good to see that a system works, and I'm proud to be part of that.
For
Any
sure.
questions of me?
Yeah, I do have one. You said the transitional homes in Melbourne.
Yes.
Does that mean the transitional homes in Vero go to the West Palm VA?
They can go wherever there's an opening.
Okay.
The system works like this. I take the veteran, we get him up to the, I'm going to say Vieira. They will check his records to make sure that he's a veteran. Are you a veteran? Yeah. Okay. Then they run his numbers with his Social Security number, and they tell him, yes, you're entitled to this, 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 and this. Now, they have the records of where there's openings, whether it's in Vero. Melbourne can handle 32, and that's where they go. If there's no openings, they sort of like tell them, sometime next week or in a couple days, we'll let you know. They will call me. I will go back out into the woods and try to find them. Hopefully they'll accept the invitation to come and to stay at this transitional facility. It's not a 5-star hotel. It's in a bad neighborhood in Melbourne. That's why we tell them, you have to obey the rules. If you don't obey the rules, we call you in and we say, you're not supposed to do this. You do it again, you have to leave. To me, it's a golden opportunity for them to get up and moving again. 99% of the time it works. And the biggest part was, I didn't realize we had a rodeo in Florida, but we do. It's in Apodaca. They came down with 5 or 6 buses. They came in and they said, we need 20 guys. All these homeless veterans are not from Florida. Some are from Texas, Oklahoma, wherever you're from. They open the doors, ride into the bus, and away they went. Some people think that's stupid. Well, number one, they're getting paid. Number two, they have a place to live. Number three, they're being fed. And should they live in Oklahoma or Texas or Wisconsin, this rodeo travels around. Maybe it's a chance for them to get a free ticket home. I think it's a great program.
The last time I was commander over to VFW, we used to bring the transitional people over to the post on the holidays. And we used to find clothes and everything for them. And at Christmas, we would give them, make sure everybody, for their children stuff, they all had presents and stuff.
Yes.
Try to get them new shirts and, you know, clothes and everything. After I left, that kind of fell apart. But we used to turn around and send baskets of food and everything, or, you know, like potatoes, you know, your essential stuff.
Yes. They will accept anything you want to give them.
If you want to contact me over to the post, I'd like to get that going again,
Yes.
because they would have, yes.
All you have to do is get your dry goods together, soap, toothpaste, whatever you want to do, and just drive it up there, knock on the door, and they'll take whatever you're going to give them. My Marine Corps League, I've cooked for them 3 times, a spaghetti dinner, a breakfast, and a luncheon.
As far as, I know there's some that are basically there by choice. They do have checks, pensions, or whatever. They're just out in the woods by choice.
Yes.
Now, do you allow them to come for the?
Yes.
Okay, because they're still out there and they're just.
Yes. You have 6 months, I call it, to get your act together. If after 6 months you're not ready yet, we will give them an additional month or 2 months. But you cannot sit there and do nothing for 6 months.
And you shouldn't allow them to. I agree with you 100%.
Gary, do you have the address of that Melbourne facility?
700 Fee Avenue,
700
Fee, F-E-E,
Avenue?
Melbourne, Florida.
The FEE?
F-E-A.
And there's somebody in charge, is there normal business hours or something if we wanted to drop something off?
They'll take anything that you want to give them. Food, like I said, supplies, towels, dry goods, coffee, whatever.
Do you have a number for it, phone number for them?
A telephone, I don't have it with me. But
Okay, if you get it to me, I'd appreciate it.
just go up anytime you want, pull around to the side, knock on the door, and say, I have some donations for you. They'll never turn you down.
Right.
Because they keep track of all this, all these items, because you just can't go in and say, I'm going to take a bar of soap. You have to sign for that. And it gives these veterans an area of responsibility to be accounted for. Anybody can go in and just say, I want 3 towels. No, you have to sign for them. As far as their food, they get 3 full square meals a day. And if they want to stop in after 8 o'clock or whatever, they're entitled to grab a cup of coffee, a Coke, soda, whatever you want. They live fairly well up there.
I, for one, appreciate everything you're doing, Gary.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have any questions for Gary? Thank you, Gary.
Okay, well, to coattail on Gary, the Legion Auxiliary is working with the transitional housing in Vero for the veterans. There are currently 3 houses there that we've been providing food and household items to, and they're building a 4th one, which is supposed to start construction now, I believe, in March. And we're currently collecting silverware, pots and pans, that kind of thing, for the new house that they're building. So we're trying to work with Gary in providing this. He does the north end, we're working with the south end, And we work with him on the homeless in the woods here and helping provide what they need also. So Gary can take packages to him when he goes out, packages that have like socks and hygiene items and things that they can use out in the woods or that they need in the woods. So there's several programs ongoing right now with the homeless that we're all working together on.
But the key is Gary is
The key is Gary is the
Gary-
contact.
Gary Speaker is the contact
Yes.
for homeless
Yes.
here. Okay, all right, next up, excuse me. Under new business, 2019 Veteran City Functions is on the agenda. Okay, sir, do you want to come forward? Okay, okay, thank you.
Good. Can I
Yeah, you want to make a first
Yeah.
change right now, right?
No, well, the change, but that is Brian Benton. He is basically in charge of, he's the new Leisure Services Director for the city.
Okay.
I asked him, he was at another meeting, but I asked him to join us if he could.
Then we worked with him this weekend, right?
Yes.
Well, we did for the last
We
meeting,
did.
yes. Mhm.
Yes,
So he
thank
just-
you. Okay, Randy, what is the latest date for the four chapters?
The last date that I have for the 4 chaplains right now is February 16th at 3 p.m.
February 16th.
I did communicate that to the Honor Guard.
Okay,
I communicate to Jerry Liucci.
right.
And as it stands right now, that's when it is.
And what day of the week is that without me
It's
looking?
a Saturday.
Saturday? Okay. All right. And I think they do there's a group that runs the four chaplains. We coordinate with them, correct?
Yeah, Larry Wapnick is the one who normally runs it. I've been in communication with him. He's
Okay.
been trying to get the clergy involved, the dates they could make, and it's been changed around a couple times to try and accommodate as many people as they could.
Okay.
And that's pretty much where it is. And hopefully have the weather hold up. It was canceled on the 27th, mostly because 100% chance of rain, and it did rain all day.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Now, one of the other things, I listed the key holidays. I didn't know if there's any missing on the list for what we would do. What I was going to ask
there's
this
one.
year. Pardon me?
There's one.
Okay. Okay. There is, one of the things I wanted to ask, so we don't run into some of the issues we ran into last year, would be more, whatever group is handling or joint efforts are handling to make sure we have like the backup plan, a rain date or a plan B or something. So,
Yes, sir.
and we're all communicating with each other. I think that is the biggest thing where communication last year kind of broke down, and so, but the one I'm missing, are you?
Yeah,
the
9/11.
birthday? Or 9/11?
Yes, a little
Well,
important.
9/11's normally supposed to be like first responders.
Well, that's my question. We've always participated in it.
Right.
But then the Honor Guard mentioned that the fire and police have kind of evolved into taking that over?
It's Chief of Police Michelle.
Okay.
Yes.
We ran into that trouble, and she said that they would take that over.
If my memory's
and-
correct, I think the Honor Guard was there, were they not? Or was
I
it
didn't
you?
say they weren't there, but
No.
but like you said, these we run, either the VFW or the Legion.
Right, yes, sir.
That one we were running, and I think now
No.
they've taken
Yes,
it over.
Yes, the police fire is running, we are providing all the support, but they're doing all the programs, they're doing the whole 9 yards on that now.
Okay.
All right. So then after the February 16th, the next one is Memorial Day, May 27th. Okay, and I don't remember who's in charge of Memorial Day.
Well, last year,
Go ahead.
Whitford did it with the American Legion. I didn't know if this year it was going to be the VFW or a joint effort. I think even if one group is handling it, it's very important that both groups are included in the meetings. I think we're included in the communication that goes on.
Yes, sir.
Because there was a couple breakdowns last year, mostly from an experience, my first year here, and another person's first year in coordinating it here at Sebastian. So, we just want to learn from that.
Okay. Well, we'll figure that out. We have time because we meet again in
April.
So we meet before, because John, I can't think of his last name, he has been coordinating from the Legion side.
Whitford.
Events. Yeah, but then he got a full-time job, so I don't know how that's going to affect.
Right.
But I should see him tonight.
Good.
Let's see if I can find out. All right. July 4th is the parade.
Yes, and as right now, and we've been working with the Lions Club and Brian and I, and So far right now, it's the same as pretty much last year. The veterans will be in the front part of the parade, and pretty much similar, the honor guard go first, and the same type of
Same one we
order.
ran last year.
Right.
That worked out pretty good.
It
the way
worked out
was set
well,
up.
and,
Yeah.
we'll have a lineup for the front that, we'll basically have, the city manager approve, the police chief involved. And I said, last year, I do believe there was, what I saw was minimal efforts at all. I mean, some of the folks that disputed who was going first, second, or third were told, here's the list, here's signed off by the city, this is what you're doing, so.
Yeah. Okay.
And that second part, the second wave will be like it always is, it's just gonna be first come, first served.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I do know, I'm only aware of one, we did lose one of our World War II vets. And, so, I just feel real bad about that, but we did lose one.
Yeah, we had four.
We had four, and then someone show up on a motorcycle, yeah.
Right.
We had a fifth one show up on a
Yeah, on a
motorcycle.
motorcycle, yeah.
Yeah, with his daughter on the back,
Yeah,
in his Ranger uniform.
Well, as far as I know, for the 4th of July, that is a Lions Club event,
Yes,
and it's coordinated through the city.
it's coordinated through the city for the services that the city provides, which is part of Brian's team.
Yes.
It's coordinated through them for, the park and so forth. The Lions Club is complete control of what goes on, the events in the park, and the city's pretty much responsible for the parade.
Great. Yeah, so at some point when we get closer, there will be, I assume, a meeting of which all the groups will be.
Yeah, there was one meeting already with the Lions Club, and I'm sure there'll be
Okay.
another one being a little bit more inclusive. Our April meeting, I plan to be talking about it quite a bit, and hopefully, if Brian's available, he's booked, he's burning the candle at both ends, so. And, he can make it, that would be great, to make sure we iron out everything. We do have an agenda for the meeting that, years past Margarita used to use, and I'm just gonna plagiarize that a little bit and move on.
Good. All right, November 11th is Veterans Day. Again, we'll figure out who's gonna coordinate. Like I said, we switch back and forth with us and the VFW, so
Yeah, but we
it's all
work-
the same people.
Yeah, but we work together on it.
Yeah, I
so-
think it's important too, is working together.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, we
just
do.
for the communication. Plus, it opens up doors for, more minds thinking what are the best way and the best ways to do things and best practices and everything. I think it's a great idea.
There was a little bit of animosity there for a little while, but we straightened it all
Right.
out, and we all wore the uniform, and we're all here, we're all here for the same purpose.
Yeah. The hardest thing I know for that from John is getting a speaker.
Right,
'Cause
correct.
we don't really have a list of retired generals and stuff necessarily available, but I believe we had a admiral last year.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, we have some pretty good speakers we can reach out to.
do that. And then the last one I see on the list is Pearl Harbor, December 7th, and I don't know, you may know, I know we used to have one or two living Pearl Harbor survivors in the city, and they used to do the release in the waterfront. I don't know at the time whether we do or don't.
Yeah, we still, the VFW is usually taking care of
Okay,
that day.
okay,
Because we do have the ability, to get all of them, so we usually handle that one.
okay. That's all I see on the list, and I think that's all there is, Randy, unless you got something else that I don't know about.
Well, is there any other topics we want to use for the next meeting? So I can, or if you do get things that you want to talk about, I'd really appreciate if you would send them to me so I can include them in the
Okay.
agenda. I wasn't sure for this meeting how long, I was supposed to have a surgical procedure that
Yeah, right.
turned into a different surgical procedure, but I wasn't sure I was going to be here. That's why I sent it out like a month early.
Well,
just to
at the next meeting, we should pretty much have everything in line for the Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Right,
That'll be our major concern for next meeting.
right.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. And the only question, we print a calendar, they print a calendar. Do we send those have we sent those to the city? If not, we probably should. That would have anything going on.
There is a calendar the city has, the parks has, that lists all the events throughout the year.
Okay.
I have, especially with the four chapels and a few others, I validated the dates with one of Brian's folks, Bob, the park supervisor, and I think we're all on the same page. If anything would change, I just got to make sure that, you know, Brian's organization and police are aware of what changes are gonna happen, because we can't, we need them pretty badly.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to mention, the Veterans Picnic we had this weekend
Yeah.
was a very, very great turnout.
Yeah,
Yeah, we fed somewhere between 400 and 450 people Saturday. We gave them a free luncheon.
Oh, wow, I didn't think
The
it was
vet-
even that
all the
many.
veterans of
Okay,
Yeah, there
great.
were.
Oh, yeah.
County.
She counted the
But
plates.
there was probably
Yeah.
over 500, because there were some people that didn't sign in.
That didn't sign
But I
in.
mean, it was really
wow,
jammed,
okay.
and
Yeah.
everybody really worked everybody working together was so great. I mean, everybody came together, and it was really a great function.
And we want to thank Brian and the city for cooperating with us too, because I know a lot of the activity was last minute.
Right.
Unfortunately, the person that had been in charge of it the year before gave it up in October and turned it over to someone who had no experience in doing this. So
Right.
the city worked very closely with us, and we
Yes, they put the
appreciate
stage
that.
up for us and everything. I tell you, they were really great.
Yeah, one thing for sure, if they decide they are gonna have it in Sebastian again next year, I think just for calendar dates, and
We'll let
that
you know.
calendar does fill up pretty quickly.
Yep,
We're meeting Wednesday afternoon, so we'll bring that up then.
not this
Okay.
Wednesday.
The Veterans Council, who sponsors it, is meeting this Wednesday.
Veterans Council, but then you said you were having a post.
A post, but the Veterans Council will
Yeah,
set the
the
date.
Veterans Council, yeah, they'll probably set the date.
Yeah.
It may be set this meeting, we don't know until we get there.
And whether they have it in Vero or here, that would,
Well, they were talking about, they're pretty sure they're gonna have it here again.
They-
They'd
I mean,
like
the,
to.
the event was like, it was a great family event. I mean, between what the kids had to do, everybody seemed to like get along and have a very good time. The music was good. Everything fell into place, and we were fortunate enough that the weather didn't
Yes.
ruin it
Can't
for
do
us.
much about that one, but yeah.
But the weather turned out to be nice. I mean, they were
Certainly
calling for
did.
rain, but it turned out to be it held up. It was
Yeah,
really nice.
absolutely. Okay, is there any other things to come before us, any discussion?
I believe everybody, the American Legion, I know, is having a Valentine's dinner.
Yes, sir.
Our post is having a Valentine's dinner. We're having prime rib, choice of prime rib or half a chicken with twice baked potatoes. I believe the American Legion, you're doing
We're having
Surf
surf and turf.
surf and turf. So like to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. And if you're not doing nothing, hope to see you at one of our organizations.
Yep.
Sounds great.
Yeah, ma'am, anything? Sir?
No, all set,
Good job. Okay. Sure.
I'm pretty much talked out.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Make the motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
We are done. Thank you. Thank you.
Good job.